would cold call businesses and sell them products without ever telling them how much the product cost. A box of 6 screw-in light bulbs, they would charge $7,000. We're at our desks one day, then the building becomes surrounded. I said, they're coming for me, they're coming to get me. When I was 17, I got a girl pregnant, and I was still in high school, and we didn't know what to do. We were losing our minds. I remember her coming over to my house and her telling me, Devin, I think I'm late. You know, we need to get a pregnancy test. We really need to see if I'm pregnant. And I'm just like, I'm a kid. I'm like, all right, so we do it. Of course, boom, she's pregnant. She doesn't want to tell her mom. I'm about to turn 18, so I'm worried because she's 15 and I'm still 17, but I'm getting ready to turn 18, so I'm worried about that. First person we told was my mom. My mom was like, oh, I figured this was coming. Like, she wasn't even surprised, even like a little bit.
Right.
And then we talked to her, like, how do we approach Jenny's mom and tell her, because, you know, she's going to go insane to tell her, you know. So after, like, we got coached through what to say, we went to her mom and explained to her, you know, she's pregnant. And her mom was like, well, as long as you get a job, as long as you're going to be around and be a father, like, you know, we'll let you be around and help you, and we're going to help you guys. I remember her stepdad came to me, put his arm around me, and was like, you know, you're going to be 18 in a couple months. If I ever hear you mistreat her or you're not here for this kid, I'll make sure you're in jail for statutory rape. That's what he told me. Like, threatened me with that. It was like, okay, I plan to be here. I want to be a good father. Like, this is what I plan to do. Like, but I'll take that into consideration. Like,
it makes me think of the joke where the guy says his wife comes downstairs one day.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the night, she wakes up, he's not there. She goes downstairs and he's sitting at the dining room table, staring into his coffee cup and shaking his head. And she says, what's wrong, sweetie? What's going on? He goes, you remember when we first met and you got pregnant? And she says, yeah. And he said, and I was, you know, you were 15 and I was 18. And he said, your father came to me and he said, if you don't marry her, I'm going to call the police and I'm going to have you arrested for statutory rape and you'll get 20 years. And she goes, oh, yeah, I remember that. He goes, I'd be getting out today.
Wow. That's funny. That's
Sorry.
good.
That's your story.
No, that's definitely my story. But, like, I mean, I love this girl and I planned to be with her for the rest of my life at the time. Like, and I never thought, you know, what would happen. But so I was a junior in high school. She was in 8th grade going to be a freshman. I dropped out and got my GED because we needed money. I had a kid on the way. I know how expensive kids are. I had no car. I had no house. She was still living at home. I was still living with my grandparents. And without money, you know, I was always like, we need money. And working at the time, it was like $6 an hour was minimum wage back in 2006.
Right.
Like, I mean, it was a joke to try to get a job on the books. And I had friends that were in the game already. My buddy Nick, who's passed away, he started selling bud at a young age, like 13. You know, when I got into it, I'm a little bit older. I'm 19, but he had been doing it his whole life already, and he had all the connections and everything that we needed in order to make money. So the only way I knew to get money was sign up for community college and get these student loans and get these grants. So that's what I did. I got on the computer, filled out all the information, and we got almost $8,700 back, I believe is what it was. And I used that money, and that's how I started selling bud.
Yeah, you started at what were you buying it for? And what was, like, if you're buying a pound for this much, what are you selling it for?
So we were getting them for $800 and then selling them for $1,200. But I also was breaking them down. Like, I was selling pounds. I was also selling nickel bags.
All right.
Like, I didn't turn down any money. I would take all sales. And eventually what happened was my grandfather was getting prescribed, you know, pills and opiates and 180 every month. I knew what those were worth. So right. I would trade him just a very little bit amount of bud and get his whole entire script, start selling his script. And I was making like 5X what the amount of bud I gave him was worth. And I did that for like almost a year. It wasn't even a year.
What are the pills worth?
What are they worth? So at the time they were worth about $5 a piece.
And you're
basically paying 50 cents a piece for them.
Yeah.
So It was decent money. It wasn't like a lot of money, but it was extra money and it helped.
Well, what is it like? You're making like 1,000, 2,000 a week, something like that.
Like an extra like 1,000 off the pills.
Right.
Yeah, but the selling the bud, we were making like 4 or 5 grand a week at the time.
Okay.
So
that's
I had
a ton of money for two teenagers.
Yeah, for 2 teenagers, I bought a brand new Jeep 2007 Jeep Cherokee. We were still at her mom's house because she hadn't turned 18 yet, and even though I had money to get a place, her mother refused to allow me to move Jenny out of that house into a place of our own. She said until she's 18, she's staying here, the baby's staying here, and that's just how it's going to be. So you can either move in here or not, but you're not taking her to a house. So I ended up moving in with them, moving in with Jenny and my daughter Alina, who is 18 now. It's wild.
You'd be getting out in a couple of years.
No, right? It was going good. And then the pills, man, I started taking a few, having a newborn baby and being a teenager, like there was a lot of stress, man. I was stressed out all the time. Me and her started fighting all the time now because we got this newborn. It's crying. We're up all night. And it's like, what do you do? I pop a Percocet to feel better. Mm-hmm. And that's where it started. And then, I was at her mom's for, 3 years. We were there 3 years. And within them 3 years, the pill addiction turned into H eventually. It progressed 4 a day, 6 a day, 10 a day, then 30s, then 80s.
Well, what happened? How did it go from...
So I was taking the 512. So at one point I was taking 60 a day, up to upwards of 60 of them a day, just to basically be normal. I wasn't even like getting super messed up off of them at this point. And at that point, that's when Nick, who was giving me, the bud and everything, he was doing opiates as well. Right. He introduced me to the 30s. That was the next step. I started doing the 30s, the little round ones.
Well, you had said that you guys were also buying them from people.
Correct. We were buying. He was getting.
Where are they getting their pills?
So at the time,
are you doctor shopping yourself?
There was really only one doctor. His name was Dr. Hall. He got busted in 2007. He was the doctor for from 2002 to 2007. He was the doctor. You could go to him and get any script you needed or wanted. And Nick would just send people in there with these MRIs or with this fake paperwork, and then just get scripts of hundreds and hundreds of pills.
And you guys buy them from them, and then you just resell them?
I mean, and we weren't giving them hardly anything. I mean, less than 50 cents on the dollar for them. And I mean, we were making so much money, but I mean, when I look back at it, it's like, man, that's where it all went downhill for me when I started right there. That's where it all, everything that happened to me in my life, I look back and think, if I would have never took that Percocet, maybe things would be different. But I mean, I know you can't live like that, but
how did you go from prescription painkillers to H? Like, what's the leap from that?
Basically in 2007, he was indicted by the feds, and the doctor was and sent away. So when that happened, there was still some on the streets, but within 90 days, I would say there was no more pills on the streets at all. Now, there was still your casual grandmother that could go to the doctor and get a script of them. You could still find that here and there, but they started cracking down. Opiates started becoming a big thing up north.
Did they have that time? Did they have one of those, the system, like in Florida at some point, I think it was 2007, 2008, wherever, around that time when all the pill mills were everywhere and everybody was doctor shopping, they came up with the recording system where every time a doctor gave you a script, it was registered. So if you went to another doctor to try and get a script,
you couldn't.
They'd be like, oh, no, Dr. Mills gave you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So
and they had that there?
Yeah, no, for sure they did. And
I don't know, because they didn't have in Florida for a long time. They didn't have it.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that happened.
Everybody was pushing for it. That's why pill mills were so big here.
I remember
and people were coming from other states because we didn't have that. I forget what they call it too. It's called the registration or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
But in the They didn't want to do it. And then finally so many people were just dying that they finally said, oh, fuck it, we'll do this.
Did you know that sleeping less than 6 hours a night doubles your chance of an early death? Poor sleep is also linked to obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, depression, and a weakened immune system. I've struggled with sleep for a while, and I'm not alone. The CDC reports over 35% of adults in the US sleep less than the recommended 7 hours. Many sleep supplements contain melatonin and other ingredients that create dependencies, cause morning grogginess, and lose their effectiveness over time. This led me to Evening Being by Verso. After 3 years of perfecting the formula, they created a melatonin-free drink mix with clinically studied, patented ingredients. It's formulated to calm an active mind, help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and improve deep and REM sleep, all without creating dependency or causing morning grogginess. And check out this 5-star review. Great stuff. 7.5 hours to 8.5 hours a night. Any necessary breaks in sleep are followed by easily falling asleep again. No grogginess or hangover. Both my wife and I recommend it highly. Click the link in the description box or head over to Verso, that's ver.so, and use the coupon code COX to save 15% on your first order.
So, I woke up one day, I'm sick, I'm opiate sick, pill sick. My daughter's crying. I feel like crap. My girlfriend's nagging at me. And I had a buddy who said, you want to come try some H? And at the time, I was nervous and like a little bit scared to do it. But at the same time, it's like the situation, how I felt, I didn't care. Mm-hmm. Went over there and I snorted that line. And I loved it. I was like, oh my God, like, you mean I can spend $20 and buy this and feel like this? This is like a $500 pill high that I'm on right now that I just spent $10 on. Like, I was like amazed. I thought it was great. I started, the H progressed and then it went to the needle eventually.
Are you selling H also, or is it just bud?
So in 2010, Nick went to prison. He got busted. He got caught. I think it was like 30 pounds of bud and was sent away. I had like $16,000 saved, which isn't like a lot, but that's what I had saved in a shoebox. And I told Jenny, I said, I'm done. I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to end up like Nick. I want to be here for my daughter. I said, I'm retired. I'm done. I said, this is it. I said, we're going to take this money and and my thought was, we're just going to live on this money. That money lasted until the end of summer.
Right.
In June, I said that to her. By the end of August, we were flat broke. Now Nick's gone. He's in prison. I'm dope sick. I have no money, no more money. The student loan money's long gone. Any connections I had are long gone at this point. So I started robbing people.
How did that? Who's?
So at first it was just breaking into random houses. I would go up, ring the doorbell. If no one was there, no one answered, I would just go around the back and break out a window. If someone answered the door, I'd say, hey, could I use your phone? That was my go-to. I did that for probably 2 years. And then in 2013, so this is 3 years later, my cousin comes to me and she's like, I know this heroin dealer. He's got $10,000 in his safe, an ounce of heroin in there, a bunch of jewelry. Like, we can get this. We should go get this. She's like, I got a plan. Mind you, I'm homeless. I don't have anywhere really to go. There's no money for drugs or food or anything. Jenny's long gone. We split up.
She go back to her parents?
She went back to her parents, wouldn't let me see Alina. That's when all that, she faded away and my addiction took off. And when I went to my cousins and she came up with a plan, she said, this is what I'm going to do. She said, I'm going to call him. We're going to go to his apartment. I'm going to call him and tell him I want to buy $100 worth. When we see him leave, we're going to get out and we're going to go in and we're going to kick his door down and we're going to take the safe. We're going to take everything he's got. And I had nothing to lose. I said, let's do it. Let's do it. So she calls him. Hey, I need $100 worth. Can you meet me at the Speedway? Yeah, of course. Okay. 5 minutes later, we see him. We watch him come out. We watch him get in his car. We watch him pull out of the driveway. That time we get out. We go in. She breaks open. We're at an apartment complex.
She's a gangster, bro.
She is for sure. So mind you, I'm not paying attention because I'm dope sick. I don't care about really anything. I really don't care about living at this point. I'm so bad off, like mentally, and I'm not paying attention. There's cameras all over. I have no mask on, no gloves on. So she breaks open the apartment locked door. We go to his door. I kick his door in. We go in there. There is a safe. I take the safe. We unplug his TV. I take his TV, his laptop. He had multiple gaming systems, a bunch of jewelry, a bunch of bottles of pills. We got all that. Took it out the back door. I had Nick. No, I didn't have Nick. He was with me. I had a friend with me. Drove up. He came to the back. We went out there and we loaded up the car and we took off. We went back to my cousin's house. Now, it took me like 6 hours to break into the safe. I've never broken into a safe before. So I'm like crowbar, like hammer, sledgehammer, hitting this safe, trying to like get it open. I finally break the safe after about 5 hours of hitting it.
You didn't watch a YouTube video? There was a YouTube lookup.
I know
how to break
you
in.
would think I would have, but
was
no,
this like a Home Depot safe kind of thing? Where they bought it at Home Depot?
It probably was. It was a bigger one though.
Yeah.
One of those big ones from Home Depot.
So what are you hitting it with? You're just
sledgehammer. Oh, first hammer. I'm hitting it with a hammer. Then we get a sledgehammer. I'm hitting it with a sledgehammer. I finally break it.
You have to peel. That's safe peeling, by the way. It's a thin layer of metal around it, and it's concrete in between it. And then there's another concrete. You actually have to take you can get a chisel, and you can chisel out, and then you chisel out the metal. Then you break out the concrete. Then you have to chisel out the nut. It still takes hours and hours.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, hitting it with a you have to make it deform it or something to try and get the door off.
I basically was able to break the door eventually
Okay.
and able to get into it. So
6 hours.
where are you?
Please tell me something was in
where
there.
are you banging on this safe at?
we're at my aunt's house, which is her mom, and her mom is also an addict, and she knows what's going on since she don't really care. So mind you, after 6 hours, we get in the safe. The safe is empty. There's
Right.
no money in there. There's no drugs in there. There's no jewelry in there. I look at my cousin and I'm like, where is everything? You told I seen it. Devin, I was just there yesterday. I seen him put it all in the safe. I'm shaking my head like I just couldn't believe it. I felt defeated. Now, we made a few $1,000s off the electronics. I made another $1,000 off the pills. So I had a little bit of money to survive, but not long, a week,
Right.
at the most. Usually drug dealers keep things in the streets. They don't turn to police. They don't turn to authorities.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day he called and reported his house stolen, talked to the police, also went on Fox News and did an interview.
Holy shit.
Now, mind you, this guy is selling H to kids, and he has a double life. He's selling H to kids, but pretending to have like 30 years of sobriety, and he's going to AA and suckering people to buy his drugs. And it was just a sick whole thing he was doing. He's on there. He's like, yeah, I hope they catch these guys. You know, I remember when I was an addict and how hard it was for me. He's like, I hope they go to jail and they turn their lives around. He's like, that's what I want to see happen. And I got a phone call from my mom. You were just on Fox News. The police are looking for you.
Well, how do they know it's you? Because of the surveillance?
They don't
photos?
at first. So there's surveillance footage. They put my face and my cousin's face up on the surveillance footage. And it said 2 Toledo burglary suspects are on the run tonight. Here are their photos. If you have any information on who they might be,
Yeah. Well,
contact.
he knows anyway because she called him. She's the one that called him to get him out of the house.
Right.
So he already knows she's involved.
They posted on the Toledo Police Department Facebook, and within minutes, my baby mama's on there. That's Devin Price. That's Devin Price for sure. That's him. I know. I swear. I was like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? But I guess what could I expect? But so
Listen. We interviewed a guy the other day. He was giving his wife money. His wife would get in.
He was dating he had a wife and he was dating a stripper and he was robbing banks to
Support him.
support them.
Yeah. And one day he got like $400,000 or something like that, and he went and gave his wife $200,000. Well, he'd been giving her money,
yeah,
but this time it was where he was giving her like $50,000,
Jesus.
$70,000, something like that. This time it was $250,000 in cash, and he gave it to her. It was all cash, but $250,000. And she was like, okay. And like he leaves, and she called the FBI and said, listen, I don't know this dude. He just gave me $250. He's robbing banks, and yeah. So then he So yeah, he got caught. Where was the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, he went on the run, and then he just he's like, I don't know why, I just wanted to go to the Grand Canyon, and so he like gets to the Grand Canyon, and the FBI's
awesome.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, it's great. It's funny too because they're like the cops are following him and he's driving. And when he was telling me this, the scene to Thelma and Louise. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but basically they're robbing places and robbing banks and everything, and they're driving around in like a convertible, and the cops are all behind them, and they're at the Grand Canyon, and they just punch it and just go right off the edge.
That's
just
insane.
Just boom. And that was in my mind.
Yeah.
And he was like, I thought about it.
it was actually the wife who set him up. He had some kids, and the wife who told the cops would call him to talk to his son on the phone.
Oh yeah,
and
she
that's
kept
how they
calling
were
him.
kind of tracking him because he was talking
Your
on the
son.
phone.
That's right. I forgot that your son little Jimmy wants to talk to you. Little Jimmy, he's like, oh, put him on the phone. They're tracking him the whole time.
Jesus.
That's how they found him at the Grand Canyon. That's right.
But like I had been selling drugs and been in the streets at this point for like 5 or 6 years, and I just never thought a drug dealer was going to call the police, go on Fox News, and give an interview when you know what he's doing. I just couldn't believe it. I had a friend.
It's not like he said I'm selling drugs or they got my pill stash.
No, for sure, I know, but it
sounds like he just wanted you to get help.
Yeah,
Really,
right?
he was doing it for you.
He was doing it for me. I want to help these addicts. Yeah, okay.
I care about it. I care about these people. That's why I have the surveillance camera.
Right. Okay, so I have a friend that was living in West Palm Beach and Miami at the time. He was running halfway houses down here. This was in 2013, going into 2014. Around this time, South Florida was the recovery capital of the world. They had halfway houses and recovery houses popping up on every corner. There was probably thousands. He calls me. He's like, Devin, if you want to come down here, I could put you in one of my houses. You can help me run it. I can get you this job. At the time, I don't know what the job is. I can get you this job.
Does he know you're wanted?
Yeah.
He calls because he knows, hey, my buddy Devin is wanted.
No, I called him.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
I called him and was like, Vinny, this is what happened. This is what I did. Can you help me?
I'm wanted.
Yeah.
Come on, Dad. I got a job for you.
Yeah. So the job, though, once I found out what the job is, so I went to Detroit Metro that same day. I was on the news that night. That morning, my mom took me to Detroit Metro, and I flew down to Florida with $20 in my pocket and a book bag of clothes. That's all I had in my name.
What about your cousin? What'd she do?
She ended up getting picked up. It was about a week later. She got picked up. My cousin ended up rolling on me. Said that I set it up. It was all me. It was my idea. She was even willing to testify against me if it came to that. And she ended up only getting I think it was 6 months in a rehab.
Not one of your rehabs.
Not one of my rehabs. But she was 6 months in it's like a criminal rehab in Toledo. It's like instead of sending you to prison, they send you to like a prison rehab, it's called.
Right.
So she ended up only having to do that. So I'm in Florida. I'm down there 3 days. My first time in Florida. I know I'm wanted. I know the Toledo police are looking for me. I have an F1 robbery, and they considered it occupied dwelling because of it being an apartment complex. Even though he wasn't home, other people were still home. So they hit me with occupied dwelling robbery. Crazy.
Because there were other apartments under the same roof.
Correct.
Even though you didn't go into those apartments.
Even though I didn't go into those apartments.
That's crazy. That's
crazy.
Ridiculous.
F1 robbery I knew I was wanted. I knew they were going to look for me. So Vinny says, I'm going to send you to this job interview Monday. He said it's at a call center. I said, I've never done sales before in my life. But I've done, I've sold drugs my whole life and have been on the phone dealing with people. So, I could use those skills and maybe turn it into a legal job. So we'll see what happens. So I go to this place. It was called Standard Industries LLC. It was a multi-million-dollar company, call center company, where you would cold call businesses and sell them products without ever telling them how much the product cost. So I could call somebody random that I've never met before. I could sell them probably 3 or 4 items without them even asking me how much it costs and get them to buy these items.
How's that
With
work?
this script, they had this script that was like a magic script, man. Whoever wrote this script, look, the owner had a private jet of this company at the time. They had been running, I think, 10 years at this point. I memorized that script and got so good at this job with talking to these people on the phone. I would say, hey, my name is Steve. You never use your real name. Hi, my name is Steve from Standard Industries LLC. How you doing today? Just wanted to call and touch base with you. Haven't talked to you in a while, man. Get them to be really friendly. Get them to like you.
Right.
Open up to them. Hey, I'm married. Are you married? I just got married last week, man. You got any advice for me? Stuff like that. I would really get them to open up to me. And then at the end, I'd be like, by the way, while I do got you on the phone, is it all right if I just put you down for a half a box of the lights today? It's not much. I know you told me you didn't really need them, but if we just do the half a box today, I can get you this in the free sample. Usually they say yes. Most of the times they say yes. And if I ever had got somebody that wanted to know how much. So I'm sorry, Matt, I don't have the figures in front of me right now, but listen, when the invoice gets out to you, if you got any problems with the money, I'm going to give you my personal cell phone. If the invoice isn't correct, you just call me personally and I'll take care of it for you. Is that okay?
No. I don't have my credit card information in front of me either. How about you go get the price of the lights, and I'll go get my credit card information.
So what they were doing, a box of 6 screw-in light bulbs, they would charge $7,000 to these companies. Then they had these houses set up where they would harass these businesses until they paid them invoices.
So they're calling businesses,
cold
calling businesses, and they're just how do you know what product you're selling them? Like,
so we sell lights, we sell industrial lighting, T8s, T12. I learned about T8s and T12s and T6s, which are like screw-in light bulbs. So we target specific brands and companies. It's usually like garages or like businesses that are like that like outside businesses, construction, stuff like that, landscaping businesses, stuff where like they have garages or they would use lights and stuff like that. And we were really targeting blue collar manager garage type guys that we could flip and become friends with us and, you know, get them to buy.
Especially if you get like the receptionist, the guy who's not paying the bill, but he's like, oh yeah. Oh, we already ordered them in the past. And is that what you're saying? Like
is that what they end up thinking they know you? They've ordered them in the past.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I tell them that I'm going to send the catalog back out to you. Is the address still the same? I have their address. I'll read their address out to them like I know it. Your address is still 923 North, right? Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, just double checking that's still your address. Yeah. I get them to think they know me.
And that they've probably purchased your product.
They've probably purchased my product before. I become friends with them, and then I push the product at the very end.
Okay. So every once in a while, so somebody gives you their credit card information. Do you guys build a credit card, or do you send them merchandise and then bill them and say you receive the merchandise?
That's what it is. We don't even take credit card information.
It's like COD.
Yeah, they basically would just send the product. You receive the product, now you have to pay. If you don't pay, we're going to sue you. We're going to do that. I don't know what their tactics were to make them pay, but
okay, I know. So I actually had a friend named Caesar that I met in prison, and he did it. So that makes more sense than billing the credit cards, because here's what he would do: he'd buy stuff for $12, the ab roller for $12 from China, and he'd run ads. And then he'd sell them COD, like, you just call and order it. You can pay when it gets there. And people would be drunk at 2:00 in the morning. They call up and want the ab roller, and it's $250, and they mail it to them. They don't even really tell them on the phone how much it is. You know, they're like, oh, it's $49. It's supposed to be $49. They think it's $49. It's really like 5 payments of $49. And then they just mail them and say, oh, it's $250. And they're like, oh, I'm not going to take this. And they don't accept it. And so then he had a collections department that then started hounding him. The difference was with Caesar, the people he was targeting were illegals.
okay.
So these guys would start saying, you owe this much money. Oh, I'm not going to pay that, man. And they'd say, listen, bro, I got your address. We're going to file with the county. We're going to get a warrant. We're going to what? And now they're starting to think, oh, the cops might show up. So then they wait 10 days. They call them back. And then they say, you know, we filed a warrant, we filed this, and they'll mail paperwork to them. It looks like a warrant's been filed. Like, they don't know what they're looking at.
Right.
And then 5 days after that, they call up as like a police officer, like a sheriff. Like, hey, you've got a warrant. It's now $750. It keeps going up. It's $750. The warrant's been filed, such and such. When are you going to be home so I can come pick you up? Or we're going to need you to turn yourself in, that kind of thing. They don't actually go out to the house, but these guys are terrified. They think that somebody from the Hillsborough County Sheriff showed up.
Crazy how they do it.
And these guys start paying. They'll pay the fucking $750. Like, first of all, it was a $12 ab roller from China that you're getting $750 for, or $1,200 or $15, whatever they jack it up to. And he's like, it doesn't really matter because if just 1 out of 3 of them pay,
right,
and they think that they're going to be arrested and deported for this.
Right.
He's like, we have like ICE, officers from pretending to be from ICE, pretending to be at Hillsborough County. These guys would be fucking terrified. And they just pay. They fucking send the money. Not all of them, but he said if 1 out of 3 pays and it's $1,000, he's like, I spent $12 for the roller.
Damn right.
So
it's crazy. So in the beginning of the script, we offer a free hunting knife, a very exclusive, nice, state-of-the-art hunting knife. And once I got them to agree to the hunting knife and let me send it out to them, yeah, I pretty much had them. So I was getting $20 an hour base pay and then $300 every time I got a guy to say yes. And I would get about 20 guys a week.
Okay. Nice.
So I went, it took me a little while. I didn't get my first 10 guys until I was there for like 3 months. Once I really got that script down and knew how to like small talk these guys, it was incredible. $4,000 paycheck, $5,000 paycheck every single week. I'm on the run, and
I was
this
gonna
money's
say, and
great.
you're wanted. Like, how are you getting around? Do you have a vehicle? Are you just hoping the cops don't? Do you have a fake ID? Are you just hoping the cops don't? You never get stopped by the police?
I mean, I'm kind of just living every day as like this is gonna be my last. You know what I mean?
You're just waiting to get arrested.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna come eventually, but once I started getting this job and started making this money, I didn't want to go to jail. So I made sure never to drive. I always had a driver.
Mm-hmm.
I try to just do things to stay out of trouble. But then I started getting cocky and I started posting on Facebook. Toledo Police's Facebook. Haha. I posted a picture of me on the beach. I said, fuck you. Y'all ain't never going to find me. Then I went on the one of me in the video. I said, that ain't me. I said, y'all full of shit. That ain't me. Just being stupid, knowing like they're going to they could trace these. They could, I mean, I don't know how that works, but they're going to find me.
Yeah.
I would think. I started seeing articles on Google because I was Googling my name almost every day. I started seeing articles in northern Florida about my robbery. I'm in South Florida at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, at this time, I'm thinking like, man, they're getting close. They're either, someone's, I mean, I'm posted, I'm on the beach. I said I was in California as well. I was telling people, but people knew I was in Florida.
Right.
So I really didn't know how long this was going to last. One day we're at work. This is now a year later, almost a full year later. Now, mind you, I went to the NBA Finals the year with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were there. We sat floor seats, $6,000 seats. Took a BMW down from West Palm to Miami, drop top white BMW, wore all white.
So you're spending your money wisely.
Yeah, I would get a $4,000 paycheck and have it all gone by Monday. Most of the time. Designer clothes, taking girl high-rise apartments, eating at every fancy steakhouse in Florida. I mean, like I told you, I was living every day like it was my last, so I didn't care. I didn't.
Are you still addicted to H?
At that time?
Yeah.
No, so I was, when I went down there, I kicked on Vinny's couch.
Okay. 5
days on his couch. He wouldn't let me. This was before the job interview. So I kicked H for 5 days and then had a job interview the next day at this place. That's how it started. I couldn't believe how much money I was making. So my morals started to get a little affected. I'm in sobriety now, and I'm sober. I had a guy call me one day. I told you I gave out my personal phone number to try to close. So
it's really your personal phone
number?
number?
I was really giving out I gave out my actual personal phone number. A guy called me. He said, I've been a foreman at this company for 17 years. I just lost my job because I accepted your order. My wife is going to leave me. I'm going to lose everything. Can you do anything to reverse this order? And I just hung up on him.
Right.
I was like, I didn't know what to think, man. And that stuck with me. It really bothered me. It really bothered me that like I realized like what we're doing is really bad.
Right.
Did you get any other calls from any customers like, hey, like, what the fuck? Like, what's these $7,000 lights?
Oh yeah, all the time. They try to, but I wouldn't give out my personal phone number. But they would call the office phone all the time, complaining, saying they were going to call the police.
So you weren't always giving it out. You were just, this happened to be one.
Just every once in a while when I would close, I would give out the number.
Okay.
You know, and I would and then the other times like they would come out complaining. But so what happened? I'm at this job for a year. We're at our desks one day. Then the building becomes surrounded. The building is completely surrounded. Black cars are outside. And I think this is it. I really believe, I said, they're coming for me. They're coming to get me. Next thing I know, 20 agents come bursting through the door with badges on, but they're not there for me. They're there for the company.
Right.
It's the SEC, the federal SEC. Yeah. So they come in, they say everybody has to go. They didn't arrest anyone, but they just said everyone has to go, and they shut it down immediately.
Yeah. Leave everything
and just go. It was crazy. I was shaken up. I was so scared. I was so nervous. I mean, I'm thinking they're there for me. When I find out they're not, but then I find out I'm also losing my job because that's like I had just been living this like high life kind of life. And then I just lost this job out the blue after about 11 months with no money saved.
Yeah.
Didn't save any money. Didn't think I needed to. I thought I was really ready to stay at Standard Industries for the rest of my life if it would have been possible. But we see how that turned out. So I'm in Florida. I'm dating this girl. I just lose this job. I really feel like the police are closing in on me. Seeing the article in Northern Florida, I really just, I want to leave Florida at this point. I lost my job. I really don't have that much money at this point. So she tells me, she says, I got some grandparents that live in this small county town in Marion, Virginia. She's like, if we go there and hide out, she said, the police will never get you. They'll never find you. She said, I swear it's up in the mountains. I said, let's do it. And nothing else to lose. I said, let's do it. She had 3 little kids, all under the age of 10. We packed up her entire Jeep of everything she owned and everything I owned and the 3 kids and drove 14 hours north from a population of about 2 million in West Palm Beach to a population of about 1,000 when we got to Marion, Virginia in these mountains. So now we're in the mountains.
What did grandparents say? They let you guys move in there?
Obviously they didn't know anything about me being on the run.
Yeah.
But yeah, they let us move in. She called her grandparents and basically said, hey, I want to get a fresh start. I want to get out of Florida. I want to get away from my mom. Could me and my boyfriend come up there? They were like, sure, come on. So we move up there and we're living up there and I'm trying to live a semi-normal life. She gets a good job working for the income tax company. She's doing income taxes and she's making good money. I'm obviously not working at this time. I can't get no job on the books. If I try to get a job, the cops are going to find me. So I'm taking care of her kids while she's working. That's basically what I started doing. I started playing stepdaddy for a little while and that was going all right. Until she met a girl named Martha that worked at the income tax place with her. And this girl, Martha's brother, was John, who's the big guy, the big time drug dealer in the city. We don't find that out at first. You know, we're hanging out with Martha and she's like, you guys ever done ice? Now at this point, I'm off of everything. I haven't been on H in probably 13 or 14 months. I haven't done anything. And I said, I've done it like once or twice, but we were like so bored in this town. We'd been there 6 months and we're so bored. There's nothing to do in the mountains. I'm not an outdoors person. I'm not a hunter. I don't like going outside. So there was nothing to do. So we ended up turning to drugs. And that's when I did ice for like really like the second time in my life. And I love that.
Right.
Wow. I had this speed rush off that stuff. It was crazy. And the more I started hanging out with her, we started hanging out with John. He started telling me he had a bunch of people working for him. And he was like, I know your story. I know you're on the run. He's like, you want to come work for me? And I'm like, you know, doing what? What do you got to do? He's like, there's going to be packages. I'm going to need you to take certain places. You're going to pick them up from one location. You're going to take them to the other location. That's all I need you to do. I said, yeah, of course.
Just slowly ease them into it. Slowly.
Yeah.
Little bit. Just a little bit.
I said, sure.
Just
of
a
course.
tip. Just a tip.
Like, you'll pay me $500 to drive 10 miles? Of course I'll do it. Why wouldn't I do it?
6 months later, you're in a dope house with counting money with stacks of the keys piled up, and
I mean, it's
you're running. It's New Jack City.
I mean, it became
I was just moving a couple of fucking pounds.
yeah. So it's
God, and honestly, getting a pound is like a 10-year mandatory or minimum.
So he was getting them. They looked like cinder blocks. It looked like a cinder block of real ice, man. I remember snorting a line of ice off a cinder block of ice. Wild stuff. So I'm running these packages. I'm making a few $1,000s. Lainey loses her job because she spun out on ice 24/7. All she liked to do is just sit in the bathroom, spun out on ice. So that, I mean, that's really how that happened. It went from moving packages to I found out he was getting pills too. At first, he didn't tell me. He was getting 1,000 Roxy 30s vacuum sealed from his uncle in Las Vegas. Also with 4 pounds of ice through the mail every month.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time.
He's doing 30 right now in the feds.
Oh, geez.
John is. Yeah, he's doing 30.
See? I told you.
Everyone in my circle's in federal prison other than me. Lainey just got out. She got 10 years. My ex got 10 years too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so moving the packages, I started to find out about the pills. Of course, I started doing the pills.
Right.
I'm doing the 30s, but we're selling a bunch of ice, man, and we were making like tons of money. I was making tons of money out there in the mountains. On top of that, we started. At the time, Backpage was real big in Toledo, but no one down there knew what that was. And Backpage was an escorting website where you could post girls.
Right.
So Lainey got Martha and 2 other girls to start posting dates. And because of what I came to find out was that within a 40-mile radius, there was no escorts. So the second that I post these 4 girls and posted the location of where they were, the phone didn't stop ringing. It didn't stop ringing. And then they started serving ice to the clients, to the guys that were doing the dates. It really became out of control. I was doing this all out of a 3-bedroom apartment. John would come and drop the pack off to me and drop it all off to me, and it just became crazy. The whole thing became insane. But
So you're not living with her grandparents anymore. You guys have your
no,
own place.
yeah. So when she got the job at the income tax place, we moved from the little mountain town about 10 miles south to Abingdon, Virginia, which was like a little bigger. It's like 5K people instead of 1K. Still tiny, super tiny town. She ended up getting a 3-bedroom apartment with her kids. Her kids were there too. Oh my God. Kids are there too while this is all going on. She ended up losing her kids.
Not at this time.
Not at this time,
Right.
but is she
How much? You said you were making a bunch of money. Like, well, what's a bunch of money? Is like 5,000 or 10,000?
probably not that much, probably like 3,000 to 4,000 a week. Bought a new car.
Still $10,000-$15,000 a month. That's still a ton of
And
money.
mind you, I'm like 16 months on the run at this point. I'm invincible.
Yeah.
I'm
sure.
Literally think, my cousin did her time and came home waiting for me to get caught so she can, take the stand against me. But that's another story. Luckily, that never happened.
So, and you have no ID. You just have to hope that the cops never pull you over.
Yeah, I have no driver's license. I have nothing. So April 12th, 2015, at midnight, I decided, John called me. He said, I need you to take a pack from here to here. No problem. Routine thing. So as I said, it was about past midnight. I had a tail light out. I didn't know.
Okay. That's horrible.
I get pulled over, and this is pretty much the end, I think.
Right.
I
would say so.
I got all these drugs in the car. I'm wanted for a robbery in Toledo. So before they even get up to the window, I just started crying. Really, I had been up probably 14 days. So he puts his flashlight on me, He puts his flashlight on me, and I looked crazy. I mean, I
just-
was about 138 pounds. I'm 210 today. I was 138 pounds then when I got arrested.
Your eyes probably look like fucking.
Face sunken in, eyes
They look like
sunken in.
wells, black wells. You know,
Dude, there's the picture of me on Google. It's crazy of how I looked. Like, oh my god,
they gotta pull it up. They gotta pull it up.
It's crazy. And then there was like they found a bunch of ice. There was enough stuff to make a lab. Oh my god. So they charged me.
This is not my car, officer.
So the car was registered to Laney. The apartment was registered to Laney. Luckily, I was able. So at first, when they first came to my window, I said, "Officer, I don't have my ID." He said, "What's your name?" I gave him my name. What's your social? Gave him my social. All right, I'll be right back.
Is that when the other cars pulled up?
So no, so as he's walking back to his car, I hurry up, grab my cell phone out of my pocket, call her, and say, "Listen, I'm pulled over. Get all the drugs out of the house. Get the kids out of the house. Like, you got maybe 5 to 10 minutes most. I really need you to, clean the house up." And she was able to. Thank God. Thank God I was able to make that call, because it wasn't 30 minutes after the stop. They kicked the doors in.
So
my house.
did the other cop cars pull up, or did he come back and say, "Get out of the car"? There's a warrant.
He comes back. He says,
"This is a small town."
so it was-
Yeah, like I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? In
Yeah,
Tampa,
no.
you'd be sitting there, and all of a sudden, another cop car would pull up, and then there'd be another one, and then you'd be like, "Oh shit, there's 5 of them."
That's pretty much how it happened, and it wasn't just the cop cars though. Like the day the DEA come, they taped the scene off. They came out in hazmat suits.
Because of the ice lab.
Yeah, because of the ice lab, and it was a crazy thing to see. Man, I felt like, you ever seen Breaking Bad? I swear, it felt like it's insane. So they had me on the side of the road in handcuffs. I'm crying. They're tearing apart the vehicle. I mean, I don't know what to think, man. I mean, I know it's over.
Yeah.
I know it's over.
Yeah, and they don't have this a big deal there too.
Yeah.
They don't have this kind of stuff in that little town.
But I just don't.
Right?
I don't realize how bad it is there. So Virginia's a Commonwealth state. They kind of have different laws than a lot of other states, as far as like when it comes to crime. Like Ohio's in a Commonwealth state. So I'm thinking like, all right, I'm gonna get in a little bit of trouble, but I don't realize how much trouble I'm actually in until I get to the station. We get to the station. They had me sit down in front of this glass, in front of a lady. She sits down. She said, "You're being indicted and charged 6 felony 1 counts. Possession of precursors, conspiracy of possession of precursors with intent to distribute and manufacture methamphetamine." And I broke down and just started crying. I'm like, 6 F1. F1 is the worst kind of felony you can get. I didn't know what to think. They put me in the jail. And I remember that first night, I'm in this dorm and there's probably 50 bunk beds and it stinks. And my bunk bed's right next to the toilets. And I'm on top and I start to get dope sick. And
God, this is just the work. Being sick in
I'm
prison is the worst.
I'm laying on that bunk, just staring at the ceiling, dope sick, just like, I just think it's over. I just think my life's over at that point. And it's sad, man. It was a tough, hard time for me. Being 24, knowing I just caught a huge case while I'm facing another case in another state. And it was overwhelming, very overwhelming. I was able to see a judge the next day. They gave me, it was like $100,000 bond. So I was able to post bond.
Are you serious?
I was able to post bond.
So did they not know about the other warrant?
Apparently at the time they didn't. So they posted $10,000 bond for me. I'm out 7 days. On the 8th day, pounding on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Now, mind you, I think it's Rent-A-Center. They said they were coming to repo a couch from us.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, they're here. They're trying to get the couch. I'm like, go tell them we're not here. Or not that we're not here, but go tell them I'm not here. So she goes to the door and she looks through and she just sees 2 guys. She unlocks it. Boom, 4 U.S. Marshals come through the door. I had enough time. I had like 4 8 balls of ice on my lap because within that week of being bonded out, I decided I was going to start selling ice again. Yeah. So I was able to hide those under the bed. And I came walking to the hallway and they said, "Are you Devin Price?" "Yes, sir." get on the ground, AK, whatever, in my face. Get on the ground. You have a warrant out of Toledo. That's what he said.
Right. Yeah. So the first time when they gave him bond, like if you have a warrant in another jurisdiction, like they're not going to give you bond here because they're like, you still have to deal with that. Like where you might get bond here and be able to go there or something, maybe like that. But if they
should have never released me.
They shouldn't have released them.
They shouldn't have released me.
But that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like these little tiny, especially little tiny towns.
Wasted that money too. On top of it, it wasn't 7 days. I couldn't. 7 days, man. I was out back in jail. So now I go for I go in front of a judge for this Ohio warrant. It's what do they call it? A fugitive justice warrant. Mm-hmm. Tells me that Ohio wants to come get you, but we're not going to allow them to come get you until your stuff in Virginia is completely finished. Is what the judge told me. So okay, all right. So what's that mean? Well, it means you're gonna have to get a lawyer and you're gonna have to see what's going on with your charges. So we get a lawyer. My girlfriend and my mom, they get a lawyer. It was like not a real expensive lawyer. We paid like $5,000 for a lawyer at the time. He came to me. They pulled me in and said, he said I was facing 147 years. There's mandatory life on the conspiracy. And I'm thinking like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I thought this was going to be like a couple year thing. I could go to rehab. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are we talking about? He said, you realize what you got pulled over with? And he's like, you're from out of town. You're not from here. He's like, they'll throw the book at you. He said, I'm going to tell you this now. He said, if you go to trial and you lose,
you never get out.
They'll give you 25 years and think they gave you a break, is what he told me. They'll give you 25 years and say, we gave that kid a break. And I just didn't understand it at the time until I got into the prison and I met guys that were in their 20s doing 80 years, 90 years, 107 years in their 20s.
And this is in Virginia.
Yes.
It's
insane.
It's not, yeah. And Virginia is not a wealthy state. It's not like this is super poor, right? Like
it's a decent area where we were.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general, the prisons are run by the state. Like they're not going to dump money into the prisons if you're not doing, you're not, well, shit. You look at California or you look at Florida, like these are states that have money and they're not dumping any money into fucking prisons. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're not, then what's a state that isn't a wealthy state gonna put? But they're fucking. I'm surprised they're not running chain gangs, in
Virginia. I'm surprised too. Like Alabama, then Louisiana still do the chain gang.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So my lawyer says I'm going to go talk to the prosecutor and I'm going to see what I can work out for a plea, what the best type of plea is. The DA did come. The DEA came and talked to me. They wanted John. They said, look, the vehicle wasn't registered to you. The apartment wasn't registered to you. We really want John, and we really want to get your girlfriend too. So, are you willing?
I hear you, bro.
Yeah. Are you willing? Are you willing? And I just looked at him. I was like, "Are you out of your mind?" I said, "No, hell no."
Yeah, boy. Let me tell you something. Boy, she's lucky she wasn't dating me. I mean, sounds like she went anyway, and so did he.
They both did, because the operation blew up after I went away.
What? There you go.
They made it 17 more months after me, and it went from a month to 10 a week or something crazy. It was insane how big it became. But yeah, no, I refused. I wouldn't snitch. I was not going to rat on nobody. That's how I grew up. I just wasn't going to do it, facing all them years though, I'm not like, it crossed my mind. I'm not going to lie. I didn't even know this guy but 6 months. Crossed my mind. So I said, let's see what type of plea we can get.
Did he rush forward to pay for your lawyer?
No.
I feel like he just made a decision himself.
And I'm almost positive he started banging my girlfriend once I'm almost positive they were banging once I
hear you, Mr. Prosecutor. I never liked that guy.
But so the lawyer comes back. He says they're willing to work with you. 7.5 to 50 was the first plea.
7.5 to 50 years?
Yes. So they're willing to work with you. This is your first plea, 7.5 to 50. And I'm like, no. I was like, if that's the case, we might as well go to trial.
I was driving somebody else's car.
Like,
It's not my car.
it's not my car.
I
It's
don't know
not
what
my
this
house.
I barely
like-
even know this chick. She asked me to pick up her car. I was on the run. What was I going to do? I picked
Right.
up the car. I don't know what she's got in the back of the fucking car. Are you telling me she was moving ice? Oh my God. That was a meth lab? I
Yeah.
thought maybe she's making wine or something. I don't know. Maybe she liked beer. I don't know what she's doing.
Right. But yeah, maybe I
You
should
got
have
to
said
think
that.
faster.
Yeah, for sure you do. For sure you do. So I was.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
What were you thinking because you're thinking I'll get the low end 7.5 years. What are you thinking? I got to do 7.5 years. Are you thinking, fuck, like this?
Yeah,
That's
like-
a fucking ton. Like,
It's a ton of time, not to mention I'm facing 10 to 20 in Ohio still.
and you're still on the bunk bed next to the toilet. Like you're thinking,
Yeah.
I got 7 years of this.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. Whether you're having trouble falling asleep, you're waking up sweating in the middle of the night, or all of the above, that's where Ghost Bed can help. As the makers of the coolest beds in the world, Ghost Bed is your go-to for cooling mattresses, cooling pillows, and cooling bedding. From their signature Ghost Ice fabric to patented technology that adjusts to your body's temperature, every Ghost Bed mattress is designed with cooling in mind. So whether you want a plusher mattress that cushions your shoulders and hips, or a firm option with exceptional support, your Ghost Bed will keep you cool and comfortable all night long. When you purchase a Ghost Bed mattress, your comfort is guaranteed. You can try out your mattress for 101 nights, risk-free, to make sure it's the right fit for you. Plus, they offer free shipping, and most items are shipped within 24 hours. If you're not sure which Ghost Bed is right for you, check out their mattress quiz. You'll answer a few questions and get a personalized recommendation. Even better, our listeners will get 10% off for a limited time. Just visit ghostbed.com/Cox and use code Cox at the checkout. That's ghostbed.com/Cox and use code Cox for 10% off site-wide.
Right.
These guys are, it's no good.
You know, flipping crossed my mind a bunch. I'm not going to lie, I did. But I stuck to my guns. I'm glad I did. It helped me in prison. The fact that I didn't snitch, having that clean paperwork. I had an easy ride in prison. So when the lawyer came back the 5th time and seeing me, he went back to the prosecutor 5 times. They came back with 4 to 35. And I signed that.
Yeah.
4 to 35.
How much time so what did you get? Did you get 4?
I ended up doing 4, yeah.
So how does it work? 4 to 35, does that mean?
So it's like a tail, like how Michigan does it. So like, let's say I get in prison and I start doing a bunch of bad stuff and getting rid up all the time. And it could just build and build and build.
Oh, see, I was thinking it's like I go to jail, I get 5, or I'm sorry, I get 4. I get out in 4. And then I'm on probation for I can't get in trouble again, or they can throw me back in jail.
Yeah, no, it's
every state's different. You know
for
what
sure.
I'm saying?
No, for sure. Virginia, I just couldn't believe how strict they were and how it was.
Adding time.
Yeah, and while I was on parole, how crazy, the just how.
Well, how long did you do?
So I ended up doing 32 months, 2.5 years. I ended up doing 2.5 years off the 4 years. I had made, I did all the classes in there. I got good time. And then Virginia does have like an 85%.
Right.
So I did 33 months and came home.
And do they combine this with the thing in Ohio and Toledo?
No, so
You still got to go there.
what happened, I filed an interstate compact while at the county jail. Interstate compact makes Ohio, puts them on the hot seat. They get 180 days to prosecute me or they have to drop all charges.
Right.
So I filed that. On the 179 days in, I'm on the yard. Toledo's not coming. I'm about to beat this. I can't believe this. Like, I'm so happy. The next day, the 180th day, the Toledo County Sheriff's Office shows up to the prison and pick me up.
God, bro.
180th day.
Yeah. Look at his face just thinking about it. He's like,
Woke up that morning happy. I was like, today's day 180. I was like, I win. I was like,
Yeah.
And then it wasn't like it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Devin Price, come down. And then I seen the Lucas County Sheriff's Office. We're here to transport you back to Toledo. I'm just with my head down, like, didn't know what to think. I'd never been transported anywhere before. So, they chained my legs, and they chained my hands and they chained me around my waist like this and put me in the back of a van, and it was like a 10-hour drive to Toledo.
And it's just you?
Just me in the back of this van with these two officers. They made me pee in a bottle. They stopped at McDonald's and bought me a double cheeseburger on the way back. That was all I got to eat. But it was horrible being chained like that. Like it was horrible.
The double cheeseburger is pretty good though.
Double cheeseburger was great. I'm not even gonna
After
lie.
3.5 years.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The double cheeseburger was great. But just knowing like I'm still facing all this time, man, I was just so bummed. Like, and then not to mention going from being in prison where I have my TV in my cell and I can go outside on the yard to going back to the county jail where you're in this tiny pod with 11 people where you don't get to go outside and there's no TVs and there's no real commissary. And
These guys with the fucking TV, Colby. I'm telling you right now, it just kills me. They have TV. Like
we had cable TV in our cell in Virginia.
It's fucking insane.
A&E,
That's like
MTV.
30% of your time just got knocked off. When I got an MP3 player, I used to say, but 20% of my time just got knocked off. That's how it felt having an MP3 player. It was just, you could put it in, you could escape. To have a TV, that was just an escape.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't have a TV. I was in federal prison. There's no fucking TVs in federal prison.
Yeah, not in your cell, huh?
No. Yeah. There's in like the big TV.
Yeah,
rooms,
right. But yeah, not in your cell. Yeah, we had them in our cell. It was nice. JP5 player. I had about 1,000 songs on it. Could email people.
And it's rubbing it in.
Prison was great for me. Seriously, I created there was a website called Write a Prisoner, where there's these desperate women out there that want to talk to thugs and bad guys and guys in prison. So I had my mom make me a profile. Looks like a Facebook, has a picture of me, how much time I've been down, how much time I'm doing, and how much time I still got left. When she posted that, we were on lockdown. We had a week lockdown. When I came out and I got on the JP, I had 48 emails from 48 different women.
Imagine,
bro.
That's like the cook and the big girl.
Oh my God, it was great.
What did some of those emails say?
Hi, my name is Chelsea. I'm a dentist. I live in North Carolina. I just seen your profile. I think you're really handsome. If you'd like to talk or want to communicate, reach out. Those were the general ones. I had one say that I think we were related. I think you're my long lost sibling or something. I had some wild ones too, like that. So I I was dating this real big girl out of Chicago.
Told you.
Erica from Chicago. If you're listening.
I had a buddy named Ellis Cook.
Oh, me.
Listen, he's upset with me because remember the story I told about Cook and the TV and TV room that we did a short or we did like a short or a TikTok. And I say Ellis Cook. And he's like, motherfucker, you stole you said my whole fucking name, you know? So, and I did this whole thing. They made a short. Well, I didn't tell you this. He texts me and says, I got people fucking reaching out to me right now, telling me about, you just talked about me on a fucking podcast or something. I just sort of like the face with the emojis and the big eyes. And he's like, what the fuck, bro? And I was like, he's like, yeah, why'd you have to fucking tell that story? Anyway, I got another Ellis Cook story. My other Ellis Cook story is that he started writing this girl, big girl. I only know her because he called her big girl. That was
I did the same
big
thing.
Girl. Yeah, oh no, big girl's coming to see me. Big girl's putting money on his books. Big girl's coming to see him. Big girl answers his phone call, emails, does stuff for him on the outside. Can you order me a magazine subscription? Oh yeah, of course, baby. Comes to see him, and when she first comes to see him, and he told me, he's like, he told all of us, she's like, she's a big one. She's a big one, bro. And I was like, how big? He's like, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I haven't seen her in a long time. And it's always pictures of her face and, from here up. And so he goes to visit. And when he comes back, he comes in and we're all like, how big was she? And he goes,
oh my God.
He said, I couldn't even, he said, if she lost 40 pounds, I still not sure I could touch my hands.
Oh
he
my
goes,
God.
She's a big girl, bro. She's a big girl. And I'm like, it was just like.
I used to sell time to other inmates, 15-minute intervals for $10, and she would get on the phone and start moaning and playing with herself and making noises for inmates.
What is going on?
Insane. It's insane. Her, I had a dentist from North Carolina. Those were the main two. And then I had a girl from Toledo. I ended up leaving with like $5,000 on my books
Nice.
from hustling and
just women sending
money all the time. It was great. That website's great for anybody locked up. Like,
It's horrible for these women, though. They all think that you're getting out, you're going to move to where they are, and you're going to have a relationship.
Usually, so the girl found out when my release date was. She left her husband and kids behind, left Chicago, caught a Greyhound bus to Ohio, then found out who my mom was, called my mom, said, I'm coming to Toledo. I want to be with Devin. I said, you're not coming here. I don't even know who you are. Like, what do you mean? You're not coming here. So this girl ended up getting stuck in Cincinnati. Her husband came back and got her, picked her back up and took her back home. Like, come on, baby, come back. I'm not going to meet you, or you're not coming to meet me. It was crazy. That was crazy.
But you're telling them that they're coming. Of course, I want to be with you.
Of course. Oh, I love you, baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You know, the prison hustle, man. The prison hustle.
He's not even throwing in there like, I feel bad.
Hey, they reached out to me. They obviously wanted to be treated and not talked to like a certain way. You know what I mean? That's how I felt.
And there were multiple women like this.
Yeah, multiple women. So I get to Toledo. I'm in the county jail. We have a family lawyer that I use for my other criminal cases. He comes and sees me. He says, you're going to have an arraignment. But he's like, I want to let you know something. He said, the victim on your case, that guy, he said he died. He had a heart attack 9 months ago. I said, well,
why am I here?
Yeah, I said, so what do you mean? He's like, well, the thing is, he's like, the state wants to pick it up and prosecute you.
For a while. Who's coming to testify?
Yeah, right. I said, I said, all right, let's go. So it ended up taking 7 months of going to court over and over. They had me on video going in his apartment, but not coming out because I went through a back window. So I could have been there buying drugs. I could have been there doing anything. No one would have ever. They don't know what I was there for.
Right.
It was the defense we were going to use because I was going to take it to trial if they were going to end up prosecuting me.
And I'm assuming there's no incentive for your cousin to testify at this point.
No, because the guy's gone.
Yeah. She's already gone to. Well, he's done, and she's already done her prison time. So it's not they can come to her and say, "Can you come in?" And she'd be like, "The fuck."
Right.
I already did. I'm done with this.
Right. And I don't believe she would have.
Did you talk to your cousin at all during this time?
I never
locked up.
I was locked up. I never found out if he talked to. I doubt they ever spoke. I know he had sent 2 guys over to my aunt's one time and broke in to look for his stuff.
No. I think he just meant like, did the police ever go to her and try and get her to say, hey, we got Devin. We need you to, because they could have used her
as to testify at the trial. Yeah, no, I don't know if they probably could have. I don't know if they did though. I never found out if they did. Me and her don't speak today, so I don't really know. So, but 6 months going back and forth to court, arraignments, and then we all the way through to a pre-trial where I thought the state was going to go to trial. We were going to go to trial, which I was ready for. I was ready for it. Right. My lawyer was like, "Look, worst case scenario, you get 5 years. We get it ran concurrent with your current situation, and you only have to do like 2 years." Because you'll do your time will run concurrent. You'll do 3 in Virginia. You'll come to Ohio. You'll do 2 years. You'll be home within 5. And I was on board with that.
Right.
I was really on board with that. But luckily, that didn't have to happen. 6 months later, the state decided to drop all charges.
Nice.
And they sent me back.
And they dragged you anyway.
They dragged me 6 months in that county.
Right.
Our county sucks. I mean, all county jails suck, but ours really sucks. It's so dirty and ran down like it's crazy. But
so what year was that?
That was in 2017.
Jeez, this really dragged out, right? 2017. I mean, all of these things. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, right?
No, for sure.
But still, so they dragged you. Yeah, that's what they, like Zach. Like even if they know they're not going to prosecute you, that's fine. We'll drag it. We'll just make sure you do a year in the county jail. Then we'll drop it or get you to sign for a misdemeanor or something. At the last minute.
At the last second.
Right. I mean, it's so fun. They're really going to get their time out of you. Even if there's no benefit, I don't really, sometimes there's not even, like, what's the benefit for you to do this?
Right.
To drag this out.
There really isn't.
And I just did like 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just got out of prison, right? Like, what's the problem? I'm already being dragged. I just did this. Anyway.
No, for sure. So can I go back? Can I tell a story from?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this wasn't the first time I really had got in trouble. In 2013, in 2012, prior to me breaking into the drug dealer's house, me and my buddy Nick, we got in a high-speed chase with the police. He stole a work van, a big white work van, had 2 big ladders on top of it. Came and picked me up and said, Devin, I need you to pawn these ladders. I'll buy you dope. Okay. So we get to the big Buffalo pawn shop. We pawn these ladders. We get $100 bill. As we're pulling out, they already knew. The cops had seen us coming in, and they hit the lights on us. And Nick hits the gas. We're going 90 miles an hour in this big white van. We only get about a mile down the road, and he runs it into a trailer. Runs it right into a trailer. We get out. We take off running. It's the middle of winter. It's February 2011. And February of 2012, it's the middle of winter. We take off running. I jump into a lake that's not frozen. I'm soaking wet, lose my shoes, lose my coat. I'm in a t-shirt and sweatpants. And we get deep into the woods. And so we basically get away from the cops. But I'm like freezer burnt, frozen at this time. And I'm going to die. I feel like I'm going to die out here if I don't get help. So we ended up just giving up. We came out of the woods. We walked out of the woods with our hands up. And they ended up arresting us and charging us with receiving stolen property of a motor vehicle and fleeing and eluding a police officer. It was 2 felonies. I ended up pleading to 1 misdemeanor and got probation. But I was on probation 2 days, and I decided to party and use cocaine and drop dirty. So then they locked me up for a year. Mm-hmm. And I did a year in the county jail. Stryker. It's the Northwestern Ohio county jail where they send all like the little counties. I live in a big city. They send all the little counties there. So they sent me there for a year. It was the first time I did any real time, but I ended up doing 11 months there. And then when I came home, I really tried to change, but that's when I relapsed probably a week after coming home. And that's when we robbed the drug dealer, broke the drug dealer's house.
But so now you're out, and what do you do when you get out? Like where you don't have any money,
when I get out of prison, or when I got out that time?
No, not then. I'm saying when the state dropped the charges on the burglary.
So they sent me back to the Virginia prison. They transported me back.
Okay.
So I go back to the Virginia prison. I had 1 year left before I go to the parole board. I was at this point I'm ecstatic, man. I'm like, I might actually come home. After thinking, 2.5 years prior that I'd never see the outside again, hey, now I might actually come home and have another chance at life. So the year goes good. I work it out. I get through it. I work in the kitchen. I was working 5 days a week in the kitchen, talking to these girls on the side. The year flew by. So I finished the year. I go in front of the parole board with no write-ups, no fights, no infractions. And they tell me, well, where are you going to go when you come home? My options are pretty limited. It's either a halfway house in Virginia or a halfway house in Ohio. But in order to go back to Ohio, I have to file another interstate compact to see if they'll allow me to come there on probation after everything that had happened. We filed the paperwork, and Ohio does accept me. I do go back 2018, February 12th, 2018, I was released out of prison. And my mom picked me up, and I went back. I met with the parole officer within a couple of days, and she was very strict to me. One of the hardest POs I've ever had. She's like, I'm going to tell you this. She's like, you still have 31 years over your head. She said, you come in here with a dirty urine, you're doing 5 years. If you catch another case, you're doing 10 years. She was just letting me know up front, I'm not playing. Don't mess up. And for a while, I didn't. For 60 days, I didn't.
What did you do? You get a job?
Yeah, I got a job selling cars. I became a car salesman.
Right.
I was able to, even with my record at this point, having all the felonies, I was able to get a job, a decent job selling cars, and I liked it. I was back doing sales, and I like doing sales. I've been doing sales my whole life, and it was a good job. But I met this girl she bought a car off me. Her name was Ashley, and I relapsed with her after 60 days being out of prison. And I almost got sent back. I got very lucky. I had strapped fake pee to my inner thigh one time with a heating pad, and I burnt the hell out of my leg. My leg was burning up. I sit down in front of my PO. I'm all strung out. She's like, Devin, she pulls handcuffs out of her desk and she drops them on the table.
God.
She says, Devin, I'm going to give you one opportunity to come clean with me. Are you on drugs right now? I said, no, Jamie, I'm not on drugs. I just don't have money for food. I don't got food stamps yet, and I haven't been able to eat. So then the next thing that comes out of her desk is a cup slammed down on her desk. All right, go pee for me then. Luckily, when you're on parole in Ohio, you pee privately in a room.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one watching you. So when I went in there, they put a cup through a window, and I was able to like undo my pants, get the fake pee off my leg, dump it in the bottle, put it there. I didn't really know if this was gonna work, but it was my only shot. And I put it in there. I closed the lid, and then I come back out. She's like, stay in here in this hallway. She goes back in to check the test, and my first thought was to run.
Right.
I'm like, man, I need to take off and just go but she comes out and she's like, you're clean. She's like, she came out with a flyer in her hand too. Devin, you're clean. There's nothing in your system. Here's a flyer, some food banks and some ways so you can get some food. So you're not looking, so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I made a decision that I didn't want to go back to prison. So I went to rehab probably 2 months later.
Did she know you went to rehab?
Yeah. So how that happened is I ended up doing the podcast, telling my life story when I came home from prison to this on this Canadian podcast, and I had relapsed, right around that time too. And after the incident where I took it off my thigh to put it in to do it, I had to drop again. Probably a month later, I had to drop again. This time I called her and was honest with her. I didn't tell her in person, but I called her. I said, Jamie, I relapsed. I'm dirty. I don't want to go back to jail. What are my options? She said, I want you in detox tomorrow morning or you're going back to prison. And I was. I packed my bag and got myself to detox. I just, at that point, I made a decision. I didn't want to go back to prison, man. 30 years over my head. I had been through so much over the last 5 years from being on the run and everything I went through that I just finally decided that I needed to stop. I did go to treatment. So this is 2018. Treatment went great. After treatment, 2018, I met the mother of my son, Logan. He just turned 4 a few days ago. It's my son. I met her in rehab. They say, don't date chicks in rehab, but
Right.
That was like the first thing I did was get in a relationship with this chick. We ended up staying together for 4 years. During that time, she had a lot of things going on. We relapsed together before we had our son. I mean, that's what we ended up breaking up. But then we found out she was pregnant and we ended up getting back together, but that only held till he was like 6 months and then we broke up again. But 2020 during COVID is when I started to work for a guy who was so during COVID, they had PPP loans.
Mm-hmm.
He found a glitch in their system where you can sign these PPP loans, 30K at a time, 50K at a time, different businesses, different names. And he ended up, his name was Terrence. He's in federal prison now, but he ended up getting like $8 million. And I went to work for him. He opened up a smoke shop, opened up 5 smoke shops, actually, 2 in the mall, 3 in the city. Every time he'd open one, he'd get 100K from the government. It was insane how it worked.
It didn't take 100,000 to open a smoke shop.
No, it
in the
doesn't.
mall.
But it was insane how it worked. I wasn't back to making like drug dealer money, but we were making like really good money working for him. And then he ended up getting indicted by the feds in 2021 and got 9 years. President Joe Biden talked about him personally in a speech saying that he was the biggest PPP scam loan artist in the United States. He would be the guy to interview when he comes home.
Right.
But yeah, he got 9 years, and the smoke shop he had 4 or 5 of them. They all closed. They still have one location, but it's ran by someone completely different now. So during that time, my friend Nick also owned a smoke shop, Higher Thoughts. And I had been speaking with him while I was still working for Terrence. And basically, when Terrence went away and everything happened, at first I started to go work for Nick part-time. I went to Higher Thoughts part-time. This was like 2 years ago. And in these past 2 years, I went from part-time to GM, or part-time to manager to GM to part owner. So it's 3 of us. We all own the smoke shop. We all do all the daily. It's Nick and Buck and me. And we do everything there. The 3 of us do. I mean, they're like my brothers. I can trust them. They can trust me now. And it's just great to have people that rely on me, trust me with their business, our business. It's amazing. It's a great feeling.
And how long has it been
Since what?
No, that you've owned it together. Since you started.
Just recently, like 6 months ago, he gave me a portion of the business. I've been there 2 years now.
Yeah,
2.5 years.
That's what I was going to say. You said I
Yep.
went from this to this to
Part-time
this.
to manager to he gave me partial ownership. Like, it's not nothing big. You know, he's still majority owner.
Yeah.
But I make really good money, and I help him, and I love my job. I love what I do. But I just became legal in Ohio, recreational. We're not a dispensary, but the THCA flower is almost the same thing, and we're allowed to sell that legally. And the business is good. Business is great. I really look back on everything that I've done and where I've came from, and I'm just, all my friends are dead or in prison. The whole crew I ran with, John got 30 years, Lainey got 10 years, the mom, the dad, they all got 10 years in the feds. Terrence is in prison for 10 years. All my, and I'm out here doing right and supporting the business, helping with our business, and life is great, man. Life is great today.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Share the video. Also, if you want to contact Devin for any reason, we're going to leave his social media links in the description. We're also going to leave the Facebook page for Higher Thoughts, which is the smoke shop he partially owns. Once again, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching. See ya.